Hello and welcome to another video of how to research. My name is Professor Lauren Ball, and in these videos I try and share tips and tricks for different aspects of research, really for those who are starting out in their research career. You might be studying a PhD, or you might have your first academic or research job, and I hope that you find these videos helpful. Something that I have received some questions about is my time as a student. At the moment, I am studying an MBA. And so today I want to share a little bit about why I do that, what is involved in an MBA, and the impact that that might have on my research career. Let's first go over what an MBA is. It's a Master of Business Administration, and it's sort of the code for the degree that you do if you want to run a business or be a senior leader in an organization. A bit like a PhD being the gateway into having a research career, an MBA is sort of seen as a gateway into being recognized as a business leader. I started my MBA in 2022. Hopefully by the time you are watching this, I will be either done or close to done. At the moment, I am 2/3 of the way through the MBA that I'm doing. It's here at my home institution of UQ, the University of Queensland, and it involves 12 subjects or units, and I've done 8 of them. To be honest, I started an MBA because I wanted to protect myself from a fear I had internally that one day I might find myself in a leadership position where I might require some business skills or some leadership skills that I may not have developed through my experience doing a PhD or conducting research projects. I knew a little bit about an MBA before I started. I knew that it would involve some subjects that were around accounting and finance, as well as subjects around strategy. And that's what I was really interested in, learning about how I can become a sharp thinker when it comes to leading teams. So in a university, that might be departments or even schools, and to make sure I'm really working in best practice and doing the right thing from a leadership perspective and not relying on just the knowledge that I've picked up from conducting research studies. Lots of people have asked me how much it costs to do an MBA, and I do know that there is quite a range. Some people choose to do expedited or executive MBAs that are a little bit shorter. Institution to institution can differ. And we know that prices change all the time in the higher education system. So the MBA that I'm currently doing costs roughly 7,000 Australian dollars per unit. And so I pace myself out to put myself in the best position to be able to pay for that. Also, there are some scholarships that I'm aware of that you can apply for that go to, say, women in leadership scholarships and other scholarships that you might want to check out, because any reduction is absolutely worthwhile. So I'm doing the MBA part-time, roughly 1 to 2 subjects in half a year. And my experience doing that part-time has been excellent so far. I've really chosen a program of study, so the order of the subjects, based on what I'm currently doing in my role as a research leader. So for example, when I did the strategy course, it was at a time when I was setting the strategy for our research team that I currently lead. And then each time that I've done a subject, I've really applied those learnings to my research work and my research team in order to make the most of the learning that happens along the way. One of the great parts of an MBA, is certainly the one that I'm doing, is that for nearly all of the subjects, the main or major assignment is based on the current job that you have or a past employer. So what that has meant for me is that I have been able to apply my learnings to my research in a way I haven't been able to do before. Whether that means thinking about how a team is structured, a team is run, even the finances or the operations. It gives me the time and space to be able to think critically about the way that we organise ourselves as researchers and make improvements for the benefit of our work. As a lecturer myself, my expectations of MBA lecturers, I would say, are quite modest to moderate. So I really enjoy being in the class with these industry leaders, and the conversations that they are able to stimulate between the cohort or the class members. In the MBA, you will have colleagues from engineering, mining, health, and many other industries who really learn from one another as you learn together the coursework. So the lecturers are pivotal in their ability to stimulate the learning that happens between colleagues. I've had to manage my timing doing the MBA on top of having a full-time job. The way that I've made that work for me is I consider about half of what I'm doing to be a genuine good use of my time as a professor and as a research leader here at the university. But I've mentally also committed to myself that, say, the other half is really in my own time. So for some of my subjects, it means I've attended class on a weekend or in the evenings, but that has ultimately been to the benefit of my work overall and something I've really happily done, and it's brought me a lot of joy. The biggest challenge for me has been the timing, because there's an opportunity cost from being in class and the additional work that comes from an MBA, whether that means time with children, time with family, time with friends, time for health, time for even your day job. That has been the biggest challenge, but it's ultimately been highly rewarding. I see it as an investment in myself and my team and the people around me, including my family, so it has definitely been worthwhile. I know that an MBA isn't for everyone, but I hope you found this reflection interesting and useful. If you're thinking of one, you might like to speak with your supervisor or your line manager about what it might mean for you and your future research career. And maybe there are other degrees that you're thinking of that might be worthwhile in combination with your research career.